Assalamu alaikum students. I hope all of you are doing great. Today we are going to discuss a new topic which is about transformations of a random variable. Transformations of a random variable. So before starting this topic, let me tell you, you have studied lot of functions which you have an input and you have the output which is equal to f of x. This f of x can be any function, real function or complex functions. For example, it can be sine x. So when you apply input x, which could be real or complex, then you will have the sine function and its graph is like this. Similarly, this function can be simple x. In that case, you have a line passing through the origin, and many functions you have studied throughout your academic life. You call this function as a transformation which transforms your input to output. You also called it a mapping from your input to output. This y could also be real or complex, whereas this input can also be real or complex. Today, we are going to discuss a transformation in which instead of real or complex numbers, we will have random variable. And if you apply the random variable in this function or transformation, and we will have a random variable y due to this transformation. Here this x has a density function fx of x or a distribution function fx of x, whereas this y is also a random variable and it can be represented by fy of y or capital Fy of y. So this is a transformation that converts your random variable x to random variable y. Broadly, this transformation is of two types. One is monotonically increasing, in which case tx1 is less than tx2 for all x1 less than x2. If you plot such monotonically increasing transformation, this t of x, it will look like this. Here for x1 less than x2, this value tx1 is less than tx2. Similarly, you can have a transformation which is monotonically decreasing. In this case, the transformation curve could be look like this. In this case, here this x1, and you can say this is x2. For x1 less than x2, this value tx1 will be greater than tx2, as clear from this curve. This is monotonically decreasing transformation and it is monotonically increasing transformation. Now first let us discuss monotonically increasing transformation. Here let's suppose you have a point x naught, and for this x naught you have y naught. So this y naught is equal to transformation of x naught, and from this you can find x naught is equal to inverse transformation of y naught. So for this transformation, t of x, you have input x and you have input y, where this x is a random variable whose distribution function is fx of x, and it has output y has a distribution function fy of y. So at this point x naught, you have y naught for this monotonically increasing transformation t of x. Your f y of y naught will be equal to probability of y less than equal to y naught. So if you want to calculate this probability y less than equal to y naught, what you are actually finding is you are interested in this thing, which is probability of x less than equal to x naught, and which is equal to fx of x naught. So if you want to find out the density function of x or density function of y from the density function of x, you need to differentiate these distribution functions. As all of you know that this distribution function fy of y naught can be represented as minus infinity to y naught fy of y dy, it is simple calculus, is equal to this fx of x naught, it can be represented as minus infinity to x naught, which is equal to this thing, inverse transformation of y naught fx of x dx. Now as clear from this diagram, if you differentiate this distribution, you will get the density functions. So differentiating both sides with respect to y naught, what you will get is, for this left hand side, you can apply the Leibniz rule. So applying Leibniz rule on left hand side, what you will get is fy of y naught into derivative of upper limit y naught minus fy of minus infinity derivative of constant minus infinity plus minus infinity to y naught partial derivative of fy of y naught with respect to y naught into dy. This is the left hand side that I am solving first, and it will be equal to, this will be 1 fy of y naught, this will be 0 because derivative of constant is 0, into 1 minus 0, because this is function of y and where you are differentiating with y naught, so this will be 0. So the left hand side will be equal to fy of y naught, this left hand side is equal to fy of y naught. Now let us solve this right hand side. Here again applying the Leibniz rule, this right hand side will be equal to fx of t inverse of y naught into derivative with respect to y naught of t inverse of y naught minus fx of minus infinity into derivative of minus infinity plus minus infinity to x naught, which is basically this thing, into partial derivative with respect to y naught of fx of x dx. So again this term will be 0, this term will be 0, because it is a function of x and you are differentiating with respect to y naught, so the right hand side will be equal to fx of t inverse of y naught minus 0 plus 0, and it is fx of t inverse of y naught. So putting this value here, what you will have is fx of t inverse of y naught into derivative of x naught. So for this monotonically increasing transformation, this fy of y naught is equal to fx of t inverse of y naught into dx naught over dy naught. This is for this x naught and you have y naught here. So dropping this subscript, because you are interested in a whole function from minus infinity to plus infinity, so for whole range you can drop the subscripts here and it will be equal to fy of y is equal to fx of t inverse of y into derivative of x with respect to y. So if you have a random variable x whose density function is fx of x, you can find the density function of the output of transformation t of x from this expression. You can prove this expression for monotonically decreasing transformation. Again, it will be equal to this expression. You can prove it yourself. So no matter either you are using monotonically increasing transformation or monotonically decreasing transformation, the expression for the density function of your output fy of y will always be equal to fx of x. This x is equal to this thing into magnitude of dx over dy. This will be your final expression. Now let us see an application of this transformation. Let's suppose you have a transformation y is equal to t of x, which is equal to ax plus b. Here a and b are constants, and let's suppose your input random variable is Gaussian random variable with mean eta x and variance or standard deviation sigma x. So from this expression y is equal to ax plus b, your x is equal to y minus b over a. Now let us calculate this derivative, which is the derivative of x with respect to y, and it will be equal to 1 over a. You can write it like this. So for this Gaussian random variable, we have density function fx of x is equal to 1 over under root 2 pi sigma x square into e raised to power minus x minus average over sigma x square. So as we have x is equal to y minus b over a, putting x in density function of fx of x, that means you have to put here, what you will get is from this expression fy of y is equal to 1 over a. 1 over a is the value of this derivative into, now I am putting this function fx of x in which I am replacing x with this y minus b over a. So what we will have is 1 over under root 2 pi sigma x square into e raised to power minus y minus b over a minus average over 2 sigma x square. and this is whole square. So solving it or simplifying it, our fy of y will be equal to, I can take this a into the square root. What we will have is 1 over under root 2 pi a square sigma x square into e raised to power, this is 1 over a, and for due to this square what I will have is 1 over a square into y minus b minus average into a. I have taken a common from this expression. Here we have square, whereas in the denominator we have 2 sigma x square. So further simplifying it, our density function of y is equal to 1 over under root 2 pi a square sigma x square into e raised to power minus 1 over a square into y minus b plus a average of x whole square divided by 2 sigma x square. So this 1 over a can be taken here, there will be no difference. So this expression, final expression is fy of y is equal to 1 over under root 2 pi sigma y square into e raised to power minus y minus average of y whole square divided by 2 sigma y square, where this average of y is equal to a times average of x plus b. This whole expression is the average of y, and this thing sigma x square a square, sigma x square a square is the variance of y, a square sigma x square. So if you have a transformation like y is equal to ax plus b, and you apply to this transformation a Gaussian random variable with average eta x and variance sigma x, then you will also have a Gaussian random variable at the output which has a density function fy of y expressed by this expression, in which case this average is equal to a times average of x plus b, whereas the variance of this y, it will be equal to variance of y is equal to a square plus variance of x. Similarly, for this transformation, if you have a random variable which is uniform between the range x1 to x2, and if you apply this uniform random variable x to this transformation, you will get a random variable y which will also be uniform, but it will be transformed into a uniform random variable with range y1 to y2, where y1 will be equal to ax1 plus b and this y2 will be equal to ax2 plus b. So these transformations are very helpful. You can convert one random variable into another random variable, or you can change the properties of one random variable through these transformations, as we have done it for Gaussian random variable, and you can prove it yourself uniform random variable with range from x1 to x2, and you will see output will have a range from y1 to y2, where y1 and y2 are given here. Sometimes you have transformations which look like this. Let's suppose you are interested in this probability x1 x2 x3, and this is y naught. So if you want to find the probability or distribution of fy of y for this y naught, it will be the sum of probability of x less than equal to x1, because for this y naught you have this thing which is x1 less than equal to x1 plus, because for this y naught you have also this range which are being mapped to this y naught. So here it will be x2 less than x less than equal to x3, and it will be equal to fx of x1 plus fx of x3 minus fx of x2. This will be the distribution of fy of y naught for this non-monotonic function. For such non-monotonic expressions, you can prove that the density function of your output y is equal to summation n of fx of xn divided by dy over dx evaluated at x is equal to xn, where these xn's are these numbers for a non-monotonic expression. Now let us see an application of this non-monotonic transformation T of x using an example. Let's suppose we have a transformation y is equal to cx square. Here c is a constant, and here you can see this is a parabola or a non-monotonic expression, non-monotonic curve. For example, here you have x1 and you have x2. For these x1 and x2, you will have the value of y here. So in this case, both these x1 and x2 are being mapped to your output y. So using this expression, what we have is, first we need to differentiate this expression with respect to x, and we will have 2cx, and from here we have x is equal to plus minus under root y over c. So we have x1 is equal to under root y over c, and we have x2 is equal to minus y over c. So let us calculate the denominator in this case. We have dy over dx at x is equal to x1. We will have 2c, x1 is under root y over c. Similarly, for this x2, this dy over dx at x is equal to x2, we have 2c into x2, which is minus under root y over c, because we have a magnitude here, so this will be equal to 2c under root y over c. Rationalizing this under root c, we will have 2c under root y, and here we will have 2c under root y. Now let us use this expression and put values in it. What we will have is, we will have fy of y is equal to fx of x1 over dy y over dx magnitude evaluated at x is equal to x1 plus fx of x2 divided by dy over dx evaluated at x is equal to x2. So here this fx of x, we have x1 equals under root y over c, fx of under root y over c divided by 2 under root, please make this correction, it is 2 under root cy, and here we have 2 under root cy because we are rationalizing this. So here we have 2 cy plus fx of minus under root y over c divided by 2 under root cy. Here we have x2 which is equal to this thing. So simplifying it, we have fy of y is equal to fx of under root y over c plus fx of minus under root y over c whole divided by 2 under root cy. This is our answer for this transformation, non-monotonic transformation y is equal to cx square. Now let's suppose we have a density function fx of x which is even symmetric, then the numerator can be represented as 2 times fx of under root y over c, and the numerator will remain same, cy under root 2 will be cancelled with 2, and we will have fy of y is equal to fx of under root y over c divided by under root cy. This will be the expression of your output density function fy of y. Due to this transformation, y is equal to cx square if density function of your input is even. Now let's suppose we have an even symmetric density function Gaussian which is even symmetric and it has zero mean and unit variance. In this case your density function of x or input will be 1 over under root 2 pi into e raised to power minus x square by 2. So replacing this x by under root y over c, what you will have is fx of under root y over c will be equal to 1 over under root 2 pi into e raised to power minus under root y over c whole square divided by 2, and it will be equal to 1 over under root 2 pi into e raised to power, this is y, minus y by c over 2. For simplicity, let us assume that our c is equal to 1, it is a constant, then this fx of under root y over c will be equal to 1 over under root 2 pi into e raised to power minus y by 2. So putting value of this function fx of under root y over c in this expression that we have just derived, what we will have is, here we have y c is equal to 1, as we have assumed it will be equal to 1 over under root 2 pi into, this is 1, into 1 over under root y into e raised to power minus y by 2. So fy of y will be equal to 1 over under root 2 pi y into e raised to power minus y by 2. So as you can see, this is chi-square density function. So we can conclude that if we have a transformation y is equal to x square, here I am assuming c is equal to 1, and if we apply a density function which is Gaussian with zero mean and unit variance, we will have a chi-square distribution which has density function given here. Lastly, let us do another observation about this transformation t of x. Let's suppose this t of x is within this range from a to b. That means it has a range from a to b. Then for this transformation, distribution function of your output, this y will be defined for this range only. That means it will be equal to 1 for all if you have y greater than equal to b, because distribution function saturates to 1 when it accumulates all the previous events, and it will be 0 for all if y less than a. As you can see, there is no x for which this y is defined. This is x, and there is no value of x for this is defined. Whereas for y greater than equal to b, it will be 1 for all values of x. So what we have done in this video is we have discussed a transformation of a random variable in which we have a transformation function which converts or transforms your input random variable x into random variable y. Broadly, we have two kinds of transformations. One is monotonically increasing and the other one is monotonically decreasing. For both monotonically increasing or decreasing, the density function of your output fy of y can be evaluated from this expression. And if you have non-monotonic transformation, then you can find the output density function fy of y from this expression. We have seen two examples, one for monotonic transformation and one for this non-monotonic transformation. And finally, and if your transformation has a range from a to b, then the output had a distribution fy of y which will be 1 for all values of y greater than b, and it will be 0 for all values of y less than a. So this is end of today's video. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. See you in the next video, in which we will see more applications of this transformation of a single random variable. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.